Good evening, and welcome to Masterpiece Theater. And now, your host, Sarah Palin.
Good evening. Tonight's play is The Seagull by Russian playwright Anton Chekhov. I haven't read this, but I understand it's a classic. Go figure. Guy probably was some kind of pinko socialist. Before this evening's performance begins, I'd like to introduce our very special guest, the Honorable Senator from Arizona, Mr. John McCain.
Thank you, Sarah, for allowing me to appear with you tonight on Masterpiece Theater. Didn't we defund this damn program last year? I also want to thank you for allowing me to visit your lovely house here in Wasilla. I have to tell you, I was very impressed with the interior decorating. The last time I saw this many stuffed heads was in the White House.
Thank you for your kind words, Senator.
And I also want to congratulate you on your new book, Sarah Palin Explains Quantum Physics. I cried.
I also want to thank you for your support of my new cable television show, Cooking Dead Animals.
I'm sure it will be a huge hit.
Thank you, Senator, for being my guest tonight on Masterpiece Theater. We should do lunch sometime.
Sarah, just have your people call my people. Are you sure you can really see Russia from here?
Archie, I'm really nervous about doing this tonight. Do you have anything to calm my nerves?
Here, this might do it. Now let me make this as simple as possible, Angel.
That wouldn't be a stretch, Detective.
We have you on tape, standing in front of the Three Grand Hotel on the Strip.
That doesn't mean anything.
Actually, it does. It shows you meeting with Tony Bascolani, a well-known crime figure here in Vegas.
He was just asking directions, Detective. He said he left his GPS in his other suit.
Do you actually expect me to believe that?
Would you believe he was asking me change for $1?
Oh, so now you're a female Don Adams.
Okay, Detective. Now come clean. Tony and I were lovers. Once. Well, twice. Well, maybe a third time. You see, we came from different worlds.
Go on.
He came from the streets and I came from the middle class. At least it once was the middle class. He loved opera and I loved Mystery Theater 3000.
I remember watching The Beast That Ate Cleveland back when I was in college. It was a very cool movie.
He's a vegan and I like to order a side of 10 to 40 with my fries.
Ooh, I'm impressed.
So, Detective, you can see I'm really innocent.
There is such a thing, Angel, as guilt by association.
Tony never talked about what he did for a living.
You lived in a $10 million mansion with 2 swimming pools, a tennis court, and a yacht. And you never were even the least bit suspicious?
Well, there was this one time when you mentioned something about swimming.
Swimming?
Something like swimming with the fishes.
When was the last time you saw Tony?
It was about a week ago.
About the same time we caught you on tape talking with Tony.
Does that mean you're not going to arrest me?
Maybe that's something we need to talk about.
How about now?
Mwah. And now, it's the return of the Gong Show with your host, Chuck Berry. Hey, and welcome to the return of the Gong Show. The show where people can absolutely, with absolutely no talent, perform for you before they go on to star in their own reality show. Or run for Congress. Now, without further ado, here is our first, and probably our only contestant, Miss Melody Parker. Melody, now get off. Melody, off. And now, as the heart burns.
Harold, I have a confession to make.
A confession? What is it, Catherine?
I'm having an affair.
An affair? Who is he?
Not a he, but a she.
Well, at least it's not my brother, the GQ underwear model. Then who is she?
She's a member of my cosmic-inspired spiritual awakening gender-neutral self-help group.
You mean the group that protested the use of simulated leather in car seats by standing nude in front of the GM building at lunch hour?
No, that was a different group.
Oh. Where are we?
Ouch! That's my foot, you clumsy!
In the 6th floor ballroom where 3 of the murders were committed. Have all the bodies been removed?
I guess not.
Severe cerebral hematoma with acute lacerations on the upper ventricular cavity, not to mention considerable tearing of the calcaneal tendon.
No shit.
Whoever did this must have used a heavy, slightly rusted object, probably a tire iron from a 1974 Yugo.
I drove one of those in college. Nearly killed 3 people on the quad. My mom eventually used it as a planter.
And look, near the base of this table is a wide circular pattern of blood spatter, probably from the impact of a bullet from a small caliber pen gun.
Probably at close range.
Larger. Oh, I'm sorry, that's impossible since the blood spatter would have been smaller at close range.
Larger.
Smaller?
Larger. Look, you little putz. I didn't ask to have you as my partner. In fact, if my other partner hadn't been lobotomized by an out-of-control Cuisinart, you wouldn't be here.
You're beautiful when you're angry.
We need to get busy processing this crime scene.
And now a few scenes from Leaving Detroit. I wasn't always a drunk, you know.
You could have fooled me. So why did you come here to Detroit?
I came here to drink myself to death.
That seems like an incredibly selfish thing to do.
I suppose it is in some way. I mean, sometimes you wake up one morning and realize that you've done everything there is to do.
Everything?
I know you think I'm crazy.
I think you need to pay me, or I'm out of here.
I don't want to have sex with you.
Now that's a first. So do you think I'm not pretty enough for you, or don't have a good enough body, or have problems making wild, inappropriate gestures when I talk?
I just want to have someone to talk to hold when the day becomes darker.
Have you ever considered going to Dr. Phil?
I don't think I know your name.
Elizabeth! Oh my
Ah, Elizabeth. I knew you were the one I wanted to spend my remaining days with after I saw you help that little old lady cross the street and then ask her for $10.
I make it a rule never to become personally involved with my clients.
I can appreciate that.
I have to go now.
No! Please, stay the night with me.
I can't.
Why?
Because I'm an undercover police officer, and you are so under arrest right now for solicitation.
Does that mean you're gonna have to throw me up against the wall and cuff me?
If you resist.
Cool. And now, a message from the not-too-distant future. They said it could never happen.
Not in our lifetime.
But they were wrong.
Very wrong.
They lied to us.
The terrible truth is, we've run out of media.
Because of all the cell phones, smartphones, iPhones, cable networks, satellite dishes, YouTube, social networks, etc., there is no more space in cyberspace.
It's a mess. The other day, I tried to text my best friend Brittany, and half an hour later, a pizza was delivered to my door.
President Obama tried to address the nation the other night, and his voice ended up sounding like Daffy Duck.
This could have a crippling effect on our cultural fabric of our country.
People will actually have to communicate with one another, face to face, one-on-one.
No longer will you be able to post 30 consecutive rambling messages on Facebook because you're either bored or high. Or post a photo on Twitter of your ex-boss wearing a dress in the backseat of his wife's car.
This, my friends, could be Armageddon.
So beware, you may have to learn to actually speak and write in complete sentences.
Oh, the shame of it.
Libraries will suddenly become scenes of chaos when all the books run out.
So, beware.